Hello everyone. In this video we will talk about range and indices in C# 8.0. I have a question for you related to this topic. What will be the output of this code? What would print on console? Watch this video carefully to give the correct answer of this question. You can write your answer in comment section. Let's start without further ado. C# 8.0 has introduced two new operators related to range and indices, that is hat operator and range operator. I will go through one by one. Let's first talk about hat operator. It is known as index from the end operator, or we can call it hat operator. It returns an index that is relative to the end of the sequence or collection. It is the most compact and easiest way to find the element compared to the earlier method. Let's understand with the help of writing code. I have already created a .NET Core console project. In the main method, I am creating and initializing an array. Now if I want to get element from any index position, then I will do it like this way. Here I am getting the array element of specified index. Now if I want to get the value from the last index, then we can use hat operator. It returns an index that is relative to the end of the sequence. Let's use hat operator to display the array element from the end index. Hat operator 1. It means it will display first element from the last, that is 19. Similarly, hat operator 2 means it will display second element from the last, that is 13, and so on. Let's run our application. So it prints the value from the end index. Working of this hat operator is similar to the array.length. You are not allowed to pass hat operator 0. If you do so, then this will throw an error. Let's try to pass hat operator 0 and run our application. It thrown index out of the range exception, because the end index starts from the hat operator 1, not from hat operator 0. We can also use index as a variable, and then we can pass this variable in between the square bracket. Let's run our application one more time. It displays the same result. Now let's come to the range operator. It specifies the start and end index of given range. We can easily find the range of element from a collection in comparison to earlier approach. Let's understand with the help of code. Let's delete this code. Now I am taking a variable of filtered number, and I am assigning an array of range from 0 to 2 in filtered number, and then display each element of this array range with the help of for each loop. Let me create a roughly index to make you more clear. So at 0 index we have element 10, at first index we have element 8, at second index we have element 15, at third index we have 13, at fourth index we have 19. And we have taken a range from 0 to 2, so we have 10 at 0 index and 8 at first index. Therefore it will print 10 and 8. It will not print 15 because when you create a range using range operator, then it will not add last element. Let's run our application and see what will we get. So it print 10 and 8 as expected. Let's change the range. Let's take 2 to 5. We have 15 at second index, 13 at third index, and 19 at fourth index. We don't have fifth index and if we have fifth index, then it will not include that element in the given range. This time it should print 15, 13, 19. Let's run our application. We have same number on console. Let's take range 1 to hat operator 2. It means from the first index to the second index from the end of array. We have 13 at second index from the end. So it will not include 13 and it must print 8 and 15. Let's run our application. We get the expected result. If I don't provide the start and end index to the range operator, let's see what we will get on console. Run our application. So it print all the element of array if we don't provide the start and end index. If I pass the end index to the range operator 3 and don't pass the start index, then it will consider start index 0. This time it should print 10, 8, 15. Let's run our application. So we get the expected result. If I pass start index as 2 and don't pass the end index, then this operator will consider the end index as an array length. Let's run our application and see what we will get on console. We get 15, 13, 19 on console. It means it will select all element after the start index if we don't supply the end index. We can also use range as a variable. And this variable can place in between the square bracket, like this.